Nestled in amongst the Alps of northern Italy, the city of Turin gave the Church one of its most beloved modern witnesses of gospel living, Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati. With his canonization set for September the 7th in Rome, the legacy of Pier Giorgio Frassati lives on in the places that shaped him and in the hearts of Turin's citizens. In the La Crocetta neighborhood of Turin stands the Parish of the Blessed Virgin of Graces, a place of deep spiritual meaning for Pier Giorgio Frassati. It was here that he received his first communion and confirmation, and where he often spent time in daily Eucharistic adoration. A plaque now marks the spot where he would quietly kneel in prayer during Mass. The parish also holds his baptismal and death certificates, which uncover some small but interesting details.
We can see that Pier Giorgio's middle name was Michelangelo. Then, we notice that the printed words "baptized in church" have been crossed out and replaced by a handwritten note, "baptized at home." That's because Pier Giorgio was born with breathing difficulties, so they chose to baptize him immediately at home.
Pier Giorgio's grandmother, Linda, died on July the 1st, 1925. Just 3 days later, on July the 4th, Pier Giorgio passed away from polio, likely contracted while caring for one of the many poor families he regularly assisted. This series of losses deeply impacted the Frassati family and likely obscured the urgency of Pier Giorgio's condition.
Aware that his grandmother was in her final days, Pier Giorgio chose to keep his own suffering to himself, not wanting to cause worry or be a burden to those around him.
The parish stands directly across from the house where Pier Giorgio died. It was here during his funeral that Turin, and even his own family, truly realized the greatness of his life.
Imagine these very streets in front of us, completely filled with people. Pier Giorgio's family had no idea that such a crowd would gather right outside their home. That short walk from the Frassati house to the Crocetta parish became a true procession through the neighborhood, a public testimony of his life.
Un vero e proprio cammino per le strade del quartiere.
Alessandro Maria Greco organizes a Frassati tour for the youth of Turin, designed to help them better understand Pier Giorgio by visiting the places where he lived. The final stop on this special journey is the Turin Cathedral, where Pier Giorgio rests in peace.
Pier Giorgio was originally buried in the cemetery of Polone, but as his example began to resonate more and more around the world, it became clear that he deserved a place of greater prominence. His remains were brought here, to the Cathedral of Turin, this very Duomo, so that the very significance of his life could be properly honored, as we're witnessing even now, in these very moments.
Nicholas Mendoza is a pilgrim from the United Arab Emirates who first learned about Pier Giorgio Frassati through Catholic media. From that moment on, his devotion to the young blessed from Turin began to grow in a deep and personal way.
He was a very relatable saint, because if you were to see the other saints like like St. Francis of Assisi, St. Clare, St. Charles Borromeo, and St. John Bosco, a lot of people would see being a saint as you have to go to the vocation on being a priest or as a layman. But when I saw Blessed Pier Giorgio Frassati, I realized I have no more excuse to be normal.
Another special place in Turin that tells the story of Pier Giorgio Frassati is the exhibition space dedicated to him, called Verso Laltro, towards the other. Located among the narrow streets in the city center, its purpose is to offer a journey through the time Pier Giorgio lived and the most significant places he visited, by sharing his life story and exploring his writings.
The exhibition is structured around 5 main sections. The first space is dedicated to exploring the historical context of early 20th century Turin, the world in which Pier Giorgio lived during the first quarter of the century.
A Torino, il secondo spazio di questo percorso è dedicato alla montagna.
The second section of the exhibition focuses on the mountains. This space features 2 of the most well-known quotes dedicated to his deep friendship with the mountains. Here we can also see one of his personal objects, the snowshoes he used to walk through the snow.
Infatti, usati in quel tempo e che sono proprio appartenuti a lui.
The final room of the exhibition is dedicated to the words of Pier Giorgio. Many of these writings contain words that appear repeatedly, We have highlighted and summarized some of the most frequent ones, presenting them within his letters and displaying them in a word cloud that emphasizes the words he used most often.
Che evidenzia quelle più utilizzate.
Located in the heart of the major seminary of Turin, another place in the capital of the Piedmont region that reflects the connection between today's youth and Pier Giorgio is the Oasi Frassati, the Frassati Oasis. Nestled in a green area just a short walk from the city center, it offers a peaceful space for reflection and community.
Questo luogo è un luogo desiderato dal...
This place was created at the request of the bishop in coordination with the youth ministry and is called the Frassati Oasis. The idea is simple: to have an oasis within our diocese where young people can come together, gather, and breathe. It's a space where many youth ministry initiatives take place. Just this year, 2025, several programs, especially formation activities for older youth, have been organized here. It's no coincidence that we chose the name Frassati Oasis during this special year. 2025 is a holy year, a Jubilee of Hope, a special time dedicated to renewal and faith. We hope this oasis can be a place of hope and encouragement for many.
Dedicato al Giubileo della Speranza perché possa essere una speranza e un luogo di speranza anche per tanti giovani.
But the devotion to Pier Giorgio Frassati reaches beyond Turin, as his relics are present at Rome's Basilica of Santa Maria Sopra Minerva until August the 4th, giving young pilgrims attending the Jubilee for young people the opportunity to venerate him.